But I say unto you, that ye resist not evil. But whosoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him thy other also.
Shalom, family, shalom. Hopefully everyone is doing wonderful tonight. Okay, family, I want to deal with this passage, turn the other cheek. You know, I've heard and I've seen many people use this verse either to try to discredit Hamashiach in the New Testament by saying that it goes against the so-called Old Testament or the Old Covenant, or people in Christianity tend to try to use this scripture or this passage to say that if somebody slaps you on the right cheek, then you turn the other cheek, you know, and let them, you know, get away with whatever they're trying to do to you, you know, or even basically, if somebody's breaking in your house, you know, you don't defend yourself. You just let them do what they're gonna do. We're gonna get some understanding, family, with this here. So hopefully, with proper precepts and also reading the text reading the text in context, we will see what's truly been said here. You know. So before we get into this, let me start off by giving all glory and honor to the Creator of the universe, Yahweh, and to Son Yahsara'al. I'd also send out a special greeting to the brothers and sisters willing to put this truth out there, trying to wake up the very elect. And I'd also send out my humble gratitude to our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and our foremother, Sarah. Okay, family, okay. So let's get into this now. Now remember, family, when Hamashiach spoke, or the apostles wrote, they was writing and speaking to a listening audience, or people that would have some kind of familiarity with the old covenant, and also our laws and our customs and our culture. So a lot of the parables was written in a form that used a lot of the scriptural context, right? So anyway, so let's go to Matthew chapter 5, and we'll start off at verse 38. Ye have heard that it had been said, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you, that ye resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on the right cheek, turn to him the other also. Okay, so this is where they say that Hamashiach contradicted the old covenant in the law. You know, dealing with an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. You know, you can find that in Exodus 21, and also you can find it in Leviticus 24, chapter 24. But we're not going to go there. So anyway, let's go get and show you where he was getting this from. Let's go to Lamentations chapter 3, and we're going to start off at verse 26. It is good that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of Yahweh. It is good for a man that he beareth the yoke of his youth. He sitteth alone and keepeth silent, because he hath borne it upon him. He putteth his mouth in the dust, if so be there may be hope. Okay, he giveth his cheek to him that smiteth him. He is filled full with reproach, for Yahweh will not cast off forever. So he giveth his cheek to him that smiteth him. Okay. So okay, let's get another scripture that's going to give us some more context. Let's go to Job Job chapter 16, and we're going to start off at verse 9. He teareth me up in his wrath. He hate, who hateth me. He gnasheth upon me with his teeth. My enemies sharpen his eyes upon me. They have gaped upon me with their mouth. So you see all these references about teeth and mouth and stuff like that. So let's read further. They have smitten me upon the cheek reproachfully. They have gathered themselves together against me. Elohim hath delivered me to the ungodly, and turned me over unto the hands of the wicked. Okay, family. So looking at all this, and it has something to do with, something dealing with their mouth, and because it has something to do with the communication. They're speaking bad things about them. They're saying evil things about them. They're getting together and talking about you and verbal assaults and attacking them verbally. So the context is, if somebody's saying something about you negative, you don't go back and forth with them. You turn away. You know what I'm saying? You don't go back. You don't go arguing back and forth with somebody, or verbal attacks back and forth with a person, right? That's what it's telling you. Let's go back to Matthew chapter 5. Let's go back to Matthew chapter 5. Okay. Matthew chapter 5, we're going to start off at verse 1. And seeing the multitude, he went up to a mountain. And when he was set, his disciples came up unto him, and he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for there is the kingdom of heaven. Now right there, that word should be humble. Now let's think about this here. The forefather Abram, he was a very humble man. And even though he was humble, when the kings came against him and his family, and they took his family captive, he gathered 300 plus armed servants, and he smote them. You know what I'm saying? Now this is a humble man now, so don't you think about that. Let's read on. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Now we think about meek, we think about the forefather Moses. Moses was a very meek man, but when the children of Israel slept with the Moabite women, the Most High told him to go out there and hang these guys' heads on these poles or what have you. And Moses did that. Moses was the forefather. Moses was the meekest man on the planet. But that didn't make him soft. So when it talks about being humble and being meek, it doesn't mean that you're soft. You know what I'm saying? You just let people run over you. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, you do things righteously. But let's read further. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see Elohim. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of Elohim. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Okay, so again, we see all these things, these attributes were people that were peaceable, people that were humble spirit and people that were not going out there in this aggressive spirit, you know what I'm saying? So that's what it's talking about when it talks in the context where we read it, especially when we look at us as a people, dealing with one another, we be so quick to, when somebody do us something, we want to do it right back to them. Now, when it comes down to defending yourself, you have the right to defend yourself. You don't just, the scripture doesn't teach you to just let people walk over you. So anyway, let's go to first, go to First Thessalonians. First Thessalonians, and we're going to go to chapter 5. We'll start off at verse 14. Now we exhort you, brethren, warn them that are unruly, comfort the feeble-minded, support the weak, be patient toward all men. See, again, we put things into context. But never follow that which, but ever follow that which is good, both amongst yourselves and to all men. Okay, so again, so we see when we read all these things, we're going to get precepts and look at the spirit was behind what was being said. An eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth still stands. But to have somebody attack you verbally doesn't mean you attack them verbally. Turn the other cheek means you don't entertain that. You just let that ride. Now again, sometimes people go forward things, but anyway, you have to discern that heart and say, well, you know what, you don't want people to attack your character and lie on you. So if you're going to defend yourself with truth and righteousness, not going back and forward, attacking them verbally. They say something negative, you say something negative about them. You know what I'm saying? If it's not about attack, if they're attacking your character, you have the right to defend your character, but don't entertain the arguments and the foolishness in the name calling and going back and forward. That's what it's talking about. So hopefully this makes sense to you guys. With that being said, as usual, peace, love, shalom.